50 Cent has a long history of stretching the truth, exaggerating, and just basically being a master capper when it comes to putting out information. He's exaggerated about his net worth was, and just a bunch of other things, and he's at it again. Now we all know that 50 Cent, for some reason, always feels like he has to put on his cape at all costs for Marshall Bruce Mathers. And it ain't nothing wrong with taking up for your homeboy and somebody that you cool with, but then there come a time where sometimes you gotta let a dude hold their own nuts and let them fight their own battles. But basically, Game came with the diss track called The Black Shady. Good song, solid song. I thought it was a great effort. And it appears 50 Cent basically said, on the Game's debut album, the documentary, 50 Cent has said this for a while, that he helped write at least 6 songs. And basically he played his original demo version of the song Higher. And he played one part of the song where there's one line, literally one line that Game used in his song, as well as 50 Cent. But 50 Cent would have you thinking that he wrote the whole song. And I listened to 50 Cent's version of the song, which, by the way, didn't sound too good, versus the Game. By the way, the Game, he did his thing on that song. That's one of my favorite songs off the documentary album. Once again, the documentary Game's debut album went on to sell 2.5 million records at that point when it was released. Damn, I forgot when it was released. What, 2001, 2002, something like that, maybe. And it sold 2.5 million records. It's probably been sold by 4 by now, because that was a while ago. But it was a classic debut album. Love that album. That album had heat on it. But nevertheless, I listened to the Games, and the Game's lyrics on that song is totally different from 50 Cent. So 50 Cent, I believe, was capping and exaggerating like he always does, not telling the whole truth. Now, it's very common in hip hop for rappers to pass on beats and all that stuff and let other rappers have them. I don't know if you know, but Candy, what is it called? Candy Shop? Yeah, Candy Shop was originally for Fat Joe. And basically, Fat Joe passed on it. I don't know if you know, let's see, 50 Cent don't always tell the truth. One of the songs that he had on his debut album, If I Can't Do It, It Can't Be Done, that was originally for Rakim. So a couple of the beats that 50 Cent got for his debut album was supposed to go to Rakim. Keep in mind, Rakim was at one side of Aftermath, and he basically left Aftermath without completing his album because him and Dr. Dre clashed over creative differences. So like I said, it's very common for a rapper to pass on a beat and it goes to somebody else. That's just very common. Not a big deal. But yeah, 50 Cent was sitting up there capping. And when I first heard 50 Cent leak like one little line, and then he basically do a comparison with Game, I was thinking to myself, okay, I know it's an angle with this, because I know how 50 Cent gets down, because 50 Cent, you guys know, is a extreme attention whore. Him and Floyd Mayweather, that's something that they got in common, and that's probably why they clash, because both of them love attention, and they love to have people talking about them. They love to stay relevant. They will find a way to stay relevant, whether it's good publicity or bad publicity. They will find a way to keep people talking about them. And I'm gonna give 50 Cent what he wants, and at the same time, I'm gonna take him to task, because to me, I felt like he was lying. If you look on, I had that CD, and I remember looking at, I always look at the credits to see who wrote the song, who did the beat, and all that kind of stuff. And I saw the Game's government name as a writer. So like I said before, it's a difference between writing a song, helping write a song. It's a big difference. And 50 Cent, basically, to me, he told a lie. He told a lie. He made you believe that he wrote the whole song, and that basically bar for bar, lyric for lyric. And like I said, Game's version of the song is totally different from 50 Cent, so he lied about that. Game only used one line, and that's very common too for rappers to borrow a line from, you know, a song they like, the hit song. That's just very common. Or to sample, you know, a bar or two from somebody else's song. That's just common in hip hop. But like for 50 Cent to just front and make it look like, yeah, I wrote that song, I wrote the whole song. Like, man, that's some straight, like, man, like, come on, man. But yeah, 50 Cent, he just a straight up attention whore, man. He just, you know, he can't stand not to be relevant. So at the end of the day, I'm just basically taking him to task for basically, he fronting and he lying. That's just real talk. That's just real talk, man. You front like you wrote the whole song, where basically all they use is like really one line, literally. But the whole song is totally different from yours. 50 Cent is talking about doing all this different stuff with a girl and what he'd do to a girl and what she could do to him. Game is rapping about the streets and spitting bars and just talking about a variety of different stuff. Like I said, I just think that's a real weak move of 50 Cent to try to pull that with people and with the public, lying and trying to fool the public and deceiving the public. And you know, this is a classic case of misinformation. I know y'all remember that word that was in heavy rotation last year, but nevertheless, you know, I just had to make a video about this, man. 50 Cent need to stop running, man. Stop the cap, dude. This your boy Tell Biz, man. I'm out.